Good Saturday evening. Welcome to another edition of Sideline Junkies Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs. It's the big guy KG. As you can see, the Nubian Sumo is already getting started, but he coming in hot. So he got something to say.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a rough week. Rough to the point where I'm just pissed off. And somebody got to pay for me being pissed off. So, with that being said, I'm going to tell y'all who I hate right now within the wrestling business. Because I'm going to take it out on them. Now, earlier today, I took it out on KG and on Don, but they was like, why you put it on us? Which I understand and I apologize. Well, not to Don, but to you, KG. But I will take it out on some of these folks that just ain't trying to do right in the wrestling business. And I'm only going to pick on 3 or 4 people tonight. So, first off, anybody who's been watching the show knows about the first person. Directly out of Baltimore, Maryland. I'm not talking about Don this time. Rich Swann. What is up with that dude? I mean, he's probably from Baltimore, but he don't act like he's from Baltimore. I mean, I know he claims Ohio, but they don't act like that in the Midwest. Not the people that I know. I love people in the Midwest. I love Detroit, Columbus, Cincinnati. I love places I love the place in the Midwest. But I don't know, something wrong with him. The hair, his promos, the whole thing. I just don't get with it. I mean, he's a skillful wrestler. You can't deny that, But everything else is just like, what the hell? Who are you? Why do you do the things that you do? I mean, it just baffles me. I don't even understand how Willie Mack hangs with you. Willie Mack is like, what, California? The modern day junkyard dog at this point. I mean, that's how he comes off to me, So I mean, that's just my opinion. Those of you who want to chime in on that can do so. Not that it'll change my mind, but it is what it is. Next up, AEW. I got a beef with AEW. Y'all know damn well y'all shouldn't have cut Minoru Suzuki's entrance short like you did the other week. But it's classic. It is. I mean, I've never seen a Minoru Suzuki entrance without the crowd going, Kaze ni Nare. That's the whole part of his entrance. Now, I understand if you did it for time reasons. Short on time. It was the end of the show. You probably had maybe like 20 minutes to get a match in. Okay, fine. Well, okay, cool. You lost me when you gave Jon Moxley the last 4 minutes of the show to gallivant his ass around the damn arena, fucking with folks. He ain't shaking hands, he ain't glad-handed or nothing. He's just walking around doing his, all that bullshit. I mean, what? You're gonna cut out a classic entrance to a wrestling legend just because somebody's in their hometown and they want to walk around the damn arena like they do all the time, all the damn time, he could have done that during his entrance. So yeah, I'm pissed off at you too, AEW. As much as y'all been doing some good shit, y'all fucked up right then. Yeah, I'm pissed off at you. Now, I'm not sure if I need to be pissed off at this next person, this next one. I'm not really sure. We're going to talk about it later, but I'm just going to bring it up because we are going to bring it up later. Maybe when Don comes around. But Impact, we're going to discuss that one. I'm going to table that one for later. But Impact, you and Tommy, you in this thing with Tommy Dreamer? I don't know. We're going to have to discuss that one. But finally, my last one, I'm going to get on Booker T's ass. Yeah. You've been coming off with some real slick stuff lately, buddy. Yeah, some of these opinions you got about various things over the past year or so, been kind of sketchy at best. I don't know if you were still a WWE mark, if you were still on the payroll, you're just appreciative. But you need to be watching your mouth about some of the stuff you be coming out with, especially when it came down to the Me Too movement, women's wrestling. I mean, you got a whole bunch of women that are coming out of your organization right now. You got problems with women's wrestling? You check yourself, son. Really. I don't know what your problem is. I don't know why you coming out your mouth with some of this stuff you coming out with, but you just need to check yourself. And in the words of Stone Cold, that's all I got to say about that.
Wow. I don't know how to follow that up. But I do have one thing to say. I'm glad you brought up Booker T, because I agree with you wholeheartedly. He has been saying a few questionable things the last year and a half. And, it's more along the lines of, you want to watch me juggle some watermelons there, boss? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Want me to do a little soft chew for you?
Oh, yeah. He come out real coonish. Coonish.
But see, it's different when you said, I said a little bit more rougher. I called him out his name. And I mean, hey, you from Houston. I'm from wherever. I'm from parts unknown at this present point. But I don't give a shit who you are. You are what you are. You don't like what I said, and you don't want to smoke with it. You got more money, but I got more goons. So, I mean, they say every squad got a killer in it, and I'm the killer in my squad. So, you don't want it. Watch what you're saying, because you're saying a lot of shit that's fucking with the industry, and it's fucking with the up and coming people. So that's just me following up on what you said. So if you want it with the Nubian Sumo shit, you can get it with me too. No doubt.
Yeah, you know where to find us. We ain't hard to find.
Not at all.
Not at all. And I'm with the shit. And tonight of all nights, I got time. I'm with the shits tonight.
Well. Hey, the fence is open. He already roaming his yard. Nubian Sumo, what you smoking on? What you drinking on tonight?
Well, tonight I'm being powered by the Blackbird Finch, which is a mild cigar. This is like a first cigar of the day with your coffee cigar right here. And I wanted to go a little light to start off with. So, this is a nice peppery, nice white peppery taste to it. Very, like you said, very mild. I can see this with some Cafe Bustelo with a little Buffalo Trace bourbon cream in it. Very nice, very nice. And then I pulled out my limited edition unfiltered old tub. Y'all hadn't seen this in about good 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I haven't touched that. So, yeah, had to pull that back out.
But let me ask you.
Because, like I said, it's been a rough week.
It has.
I'm somewhere I ain't supposed to be right now. I'm supposed to be somewhere inebriated since yesterday.
Well, let me ask you a question. This is a personal question. This is not even wrestling related. I'm just gonna ask this and we're gonna move on. You got an old school bar, don't you? Old school, almost U-shaped. You can get behind it. You got the bottles and everything. You almost got a tap and everything. You got a wall with your liquor and everything.
I don't have enough room for that. What I have is I have like I have things you put wine on.
No, you got wine racks. Okay.
Yeah, I got wine racks. Yeah, I got wooden wine racks. And I got enough. And they come like you could put 3 on the rack. So I got enough to put like 12 bottles of bourbon and 6 bottles of wine. And that's what I got right now.
Perry checking in. That's him. Okay, so Perry, you got the bar and all that.
Perry got the bar.
The mirror wall with all the different he got Kahlua. He got what's the other one? He got some Bombay Sapphire, He got all top shelf stuff. Perry don't look like he don't look like he drink nothing below the mid shelf.
Yeah, Perry can run with me. I can't run with everybody, but Perry can run with me.
Let me tell you something.
Especially since he's a Padron guy. I mean, I don't know too many Padron guys. So yeah.
Back in the day, y'all wouldn't have been able to keep up with me.
Cigar guy, so
y'all wouldn't have been able to keep up with me. That's all I'm gonna say. I had more Belvedere stocked up than enough. And in the wintertime, it was Tanqueray.
The only white liquor I do is corn.
Oh goddamn! He say Southern Draw now.
Yeah. He been on that Southern Draw cigar line for a good minute now. So I keep telling him he needs to get that Jacob's Ladder. I don't know if he smoked it yet, but you need to get on that Jacob's Ladder. Oh, speaking of that, Mr. Thompson, Mr. Raj Thompson, one of our great listeners and watchers, viewers. It's one of our day ones. Well, not my day one, but not y'all's day one, but my day one. He chimed in last week about the Sonny Jurgensen cigar that you asked me about. He's had the Chewy. He's actually had the Chewy. He said it's a very good cigar, and he says the reason why it's called the Chewy is because Jurgensen used to take cigars everywhere with him and sit, and he was in places where he couldn't smoke, he would just chew on his cigar. So the way the cigar is made is the cigar is actually somewhat flavored so that you can actually sit there and chew the cigar rather than smoke it or start smoking it at your leisure. But you can just sit there and just have it in your mouth and just smoke or just chew on it until you're ready to light it up.
Now, see, so, I'm not a cigar smoker. The boss BJ is. I know Delonte is. A couple of listeners are. But I just wanted to get, because it's Sonny Jurgensen, that's the only reason why I want to get me a couple. I wanted to know, hey, now if I got a SJ9 Chewy, how long would that last me? That I could keep that in the wrapper and they would last for a while if I had no plan on smoking it, right?
Nah, if you want to keep it for a while, there's certain things you got to try to keep it humidified. It's got to be in a certain temperature. It's got to have a type of humidity, to keep it the way it's supposed to be. So if you're just going to get 1 or 2 cigars, I mean, I can tell you what to do with them. Or you could just leave them over here with me and I'll just have them in a corner for you and you just come over and get it whenever you're ready for it.
I'm planning on smoking it. I want it because just because it's Sonny Jurgensen. I'm a big Sonny Jurgensen fan. Big
Well, if that's
Washington
the
Redskin
case,
fan.
if that's the case, then I would suggest that you figure out a way to try to preserve it. You know, if they're not going to smoke it, you just try to figure out a way to preserve it so it doesn't go bad on you, because it'll dry up, and then
just crumble the pieces.
At one point, it'll just disintegrate on you.
Okay.
So yeah, so I would, you know how they take stuff, and they might dip it in something, and it just hardens, and it just kind of preserves it. That you might want to do something like that, or maybe some type of clear glue or whatever to try to put over it, and so that it doesn't. Because all you want is pretty much the cigar and the band. Right?
Yeah, that's it.
Just to have something, something to show.
Yeah. Just to say I got it.
If you get some kind of lacquer, get it and like dip it in some kind of clear lacquer or something. Something from Michael's or something like that. Then you might be able to do something like preserve it like that. But,
okay.
Yeah.
And Perry say Jacob's Ladder, Cudzo, and Cedrus.
Yeah, those are 3 cigars in the Southern Draw line. So yeah, those are the ones that he's smoking. But
where's the Boss BJ at? I got to find the Boss BJ because this is knowledge being dropped on cigars, and he's a cigar smoker now. So this is knowledge being dropped. But until the Boss BJ comes in and he gets on here, I'm gonna send him a text message in a second. But until he gets on here, we got to move on. Next up. Oh man, I didn't hit the ticker. Yeah, I did. I hit the ticker. Brock v. Brock. Jesus, this is what it's supposed to be. Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar at Crown Jewel.
Should be an interesting match. I'm more concerned with the Paul Heyman aspect of it than I am the actual match. Because I don't see, I feel a dusty finish coming. I don't think it's going to be a clean finish. I think it's going to be like a disqualification of some kind. I don't see either one of them losing to the other in that match.
Agreed.
It doesn't do either one of them any justice to lose that match. So, and plus it's in Saudi Arabia. I mean, even though it's going to be televised, I mean, it doesn't really count.
Wait, it's the Intercontinental Championship changing hands, and what was that? What we say? What was that? Panama?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Panama City. Yeah. So I mean, just like Mansoor, Mansoor is just another jobber here in the United States, but take him over to Saudi Arabia, that motherfucker John Cena.
That's true.
He ain't lost in Saudi Arabia yet.
He's not going to. And Perry, I agree with you. I haven't watched a Blood Money card. I haven't watched a Crown Jewel since the first one. And
they're kind of rough to watch.
Yeah.
They're very rough to watch. I mean, because they got so many rules that they have to abide by, especially with the women. The women have to be completely covered up. I mean, they didn't have to wear the burqas over their faces or nothing, but they closed down to their wrists, down to their ankles. That match between I think who was it? The Natalia and Lacey Evans.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, they did what they did.
It was good. That was a good match.
It was a good match. But I mean,
I agree with you again, Perry. Crown number one, it comes on at an awkward time. Most of us are at work when Crown Jewel comes on. Now, when I was at my former job, Crown Jewel came on. I had my breaks set up so I could watch. I think it came on at 1:00. So I asked boss, could I go to lunch at like 1 so I could watch it? And I was able to watch most of it, take my breaks and keep checking up on it and watching it. But Undertaker and Kane, Brothers of Destruction versus DX. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go back and look at that. That's a rough match to watch with 4 of your childhood heroes going at it, and it was just sloppy. But Brock versus Roman at Crown Jewel for custody of Paul Heyman, probably. I don't think it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be terrible. I think that's.
Well, again, I'm looking for a dusty finish. I'm looking for like Paul Heyman to interrupt the match in some kind of way to where he doesn't show himself one side or the other. I mean, the only reason they're having this match is because the Saudis are asking for it. Pretty much every potential main event match on this card is because the Saudis asked for certain people.
Mm-hmm.
And they asked for certain matches, like Goldberg. Why would Goldberg have his last match on his contract in Saudi Arabia?
Because they asked for it. And I'm sure the price tag was pretty high, too.
Right.
Perry said, I can't do boxing cards in Saudi Arabia, not going to support it. I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. And here's my thing. It's going to be a terrible match to watch. Probably a dusty finish, like you said. But think about what can come out of it. You could possibly
that's why it's going to be the smosh that it is. It's going to be because it's going to leave a bitter taste in people's mouths. That's going to be like, okay, what are they going to do next? How are they going to put them together? And are they going to be together once the draft comes around? You got the draft in 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So you got both of the main championships on the same show. So are you going to move Big E and put him back with the New Day? Or are you going to move Roman to Raw? And does Brock follow him to Raw? Because we still don't know who Brock is signed with.
I'm not sure.
We only dealing right now with the fact that he's trying to get at Roman Reigns.
Mm-hmm.
Does Brock get picked up by Raw? And then we have the Brock Lashley match
that I've been waiting for 13 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's a lot of ifs and buts when it comes to that match.
But
so why give him a finish? Why pin somebody?
I'm going to throw this at you. You got the Hurt Business. Now they're talking about Shelton Benjamin possibly coming back to the Hurt Business, which is good. So you'll have MVP, Lashley, Shelton Benjamin. Cedric Alexander was rumored to also come back to drop the gimmick that he has and come on back. And also, no, that was it for the Hurt Business. But think about this. With the Usos, Brock, and Roman, you got somebody to go against the Hurt Business. You got another stable that can hang with the Hurt Business a little bit. And you got something to beef over. You got two stables. You got, MVP, great on the mic. Paul Heyman, great on the mic. And they can just go back and forth and play off of each other for a few months. And you can stretch this out at least until it's still early. It can go, the least it can go with Survivor Series. Because that's a Survivor Series match.
But see, that's why they're giving you Brock and Roman now.
Exactly. Because you're going to put them on the same team.
Because we don't know what the draft is going to give us. So
that is true.
I mean, because look, think about all the moving parts within this draft. If you move Roman, you break up the bloodline. Unless you bring the bloodline with him.
Exactly.
Which is possible. If the bloodline leaves, then you got the bloodline and the potential Hurt Business on the same show. How long is that going to last?
It's not going to last very long.
How long could that last? That's not going to last that long. And I agree, not happening. It's too many ands and buts in that. Right. Right,
Fox will never
exactly.
go
Fox
for
will never go for it. Right. Because Fox is like, Roman is our moneymaker right now.
it. Right.
So yeah. So they're not
Okay.
going to break up the bloodline. Okay.
And you're not bringing
You
the Hurt
move
Business
Biggie. The
over to
most likely
Fox.
thing to do is to take Big E, move him over to Raw, since that's the Raw title. Put him back together with the New Day, or ship the New Day over to SmackDown. Keep him as a single, or put them together. Doesn't really matter at this point. It doesn't. Because either you keep Big E as a single, he's doing well by himself, he's doing very well by himself, or put him back with the New Day. That way he's got backup in case somebody comes at him for the title. You know, he's got some heaters to kind of protect him. Or ship Kofi and Xavier over to SmackDown, have them go up against the Usos because they need tag teams over there.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing, and we were talking about, and one of my Bob the Actual from Straight to Tape that's with Perry on Perry's show. He asked me this question the other day. He says, "Will the New Day go heel?"
No. You know what that's gonna be reminiscent of? They go heel. Why Rock? Why? When The Rock went face,
but check this out though. Check this out. He also asked me if there was anybody out of the group who would go heel single, who would it be?
Big E.
I said that 2 years ago. I said if anybody was going to turn within the New Day 2 years ago, I said Big E.
Mm-hmm.
Now I wouldn't say that.
Why? Because he's over as a face.
He's over as a face, and he's over as a face, and he has the title, and there are more heels coming after him than there are faces. So I agree with Perry. Xavier Woods has an axe to grind now.
Because he's the only one without a title shot.
You got two guys within their organization that have held the WWE Championship. And he has never been in contention.
Mm-hmm.
He's never really gotten a real title shot. So
also hurt too.
He's the Marty Jannetty of that group.
Okay.
Or if you want to be more accurate, since it's a 3-man, if this were 3MB, he'd be Heath Slater.
Agreed. I can see that. And Ben says play the jealousy card, but
right, exactly.
I love it. Perry chimed in, but once again, they still selling too much merchandise.
And then, right, yeah, that's the only reason why I'm saying it would never happen. That they would never turn heel, because they sell too much. They make too much money. The WWE makes too much money off of them on merch.
Well, they need to put Bootios back out. I need me a box of Bootios.
But I'm saying though, check this. If Xavier were to turn, first he could play the jealousy card. You know, y'all got belts. Why can't I get my shot?
Mm-hmm.
Kofi never gave me my shot when he had the title. Are you going to give me my shot? And when are you going to give it to me? Then he can go in to say, y'all remember, I put this shit together. This was my idea, the New Day. I'm the one who brought us together. I'm the one who created the New Day. Without the New Day, Kofi would be in retirement, and Big E would be somebody's lackey.
That's true. That's true. That's true. Okay. Okay. Now.
So I'm going to end all that by saying this. Cut the check.
We've been yelling cut the check for 3 years now, and I still ain't got
cut the motherfucking check.
Oh shoot. Well, we're gonna backtrack a little bit. We want Creed. Hey, you get Jay Lethal and bring Lethal Consequences back, man. Ain't nobody beating them. But I'm just saying. The boss BJ is joining us.
No, Jay Lethal needs to stay where he is. He better not. I better not never see Jay Lethal in the WWE. Never. I mean, it's bad enough that Gresham just lost the damn Pure title.
That is true.
I mean, you know, I expected it to happen at some point, but wow, I don't know. So I'm just saying, no. Jay, keep your ass out of WWE. No, you don't even need to be there as an extra. Just
not at all.
Just stay your ass in Baltimore and then Ring of Honor. You be all right.
Then torn up 2 hours before Raw. Ben say never, never. Well, now the boss BJ done joined in on us. He watching now. This is just something that I'm gonna throw out there. We got to get you, Nubian Sumo, Perry, Raj, the boss BJ, Delonte, all the cigar smokers. One show. And I mean, granted, we in a pandemic, so we probably would have to do it virtually. But if we could just do one show, maybe 45 minutes of just nothing but straight talking. No topic, no nothing. 45 minutes of just straight
cigar and liquor talk.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Whatever comes up on the table.
Yeah, like, we can do that.
I'm not even a cigar smoker. All I want to do is just be a fly on the wall because I know, number one, with you, Perry, and Raj, it's going to be a lot of knowledge drop, especially, you know, even with the boss, BJ and Delonte, it's going to be just knowledge dropped all the way around. I just want to be a fly on the wall. That's all. And I just want to be able to get it on video, get it on wax so people can see this is what happens when you get a group of sippers. I ain't going to say drinkers, sippers and smokers in a room. And it would be excellence overload. That's what I think I would call it. I would call it excellence overload.
Boom. Oh yeah, there's a whole bunch of topics we could talk about. We could talk about cigar etiquette. That'd be 45 minutes right there. Cigar etiquette.
I'll be there taking
the do's and don'ts of cigar smoking. That's 45 minutes right there in itself. So yeah, that's because that's an argument, depending on how people feel about certain rules within the cigar community.
And so yeah, he agrees with you. He says yes. See, that's something I didn't know. I know a little bit, but I've never like the what is that? The Tinderbox down in Waldorf.
No,
I've been in there once, and I think I went in there to do something. It wasn't, you know, to go in there and chill. So I've never been in there to chill, but I've always wanted to go in there and just chill and kick back. But I think you can't go in there unless you're smoking. So I can't just go in there and kick back and conversate with people.
I mean, they want you to come in and patronize the place, but there's a bar in there. So I mean, and you could and if they're still doing that, they have restaurants that they deal with that they actually deliver to their establishment. Because there's one pizza place that they deal with on a regular basis that people love when they go over there. And the food is pretty good from that restaurant, so they'll deliver to that spot. They'll allow you to eat there. There's TV so you can watch sports. Mm-hmm. They got a bar, but I mean, you don't necessarily have to smoke there. I mean, because it is a cigar lounge, but you know there are other things that you can do in there. They don't, as long as you buy it from the bar, I don't think they'll trip over you not smoking a cigar.
Okay. Because I think I went in there for some, I don't know, I was in there for maybe about 30 minutes. I did something. I don't even remember what it was. But the reason why I was in there so long, I got to talking to a gentleman, and it was an older black guy, and we just got to talking about some stuff, and he dropped knowledge on me. I'm at that time, I think I was early 30s, so I'm trying to pick myself up off the canvas because life had knocked me down, and he dropped some knowledge on me, and ever since then, I'm like, yeah, I got to go back because it's an older crowd and it's more mature, and it's not
Well,
nobody. No,
how long ago was that?
early 30s, son. That was about 30, 31. So that was about.
Oh, that crowd, that it's a whole different place. They done sold that place. It's a new management.
Oh,
It's a whole nother. It's a younger atmosphere in there now. That's why
oh,
I haven't been back in there for a good while. So yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Because
Since they changed management. So yeah.
well, that's the reason why I wanted to go back because it was an older crowd, and it was just nobody being hyper and yelling. It was just a sedate time where you just sat back and you kicked it, but you had the older ones. They didn't try to browbeat you because you didn't have this or have that. They told you how to go get it, and
Right.
they dropped the knowledge on you on how to do it. It's not all gonna come at once, and it didn't matter if it was finances, if it was love. They let you know from experience how things was gonna be.
Right. Yeah.
So, but hey, excellence overload coming soon. I'm just gonna say that we're gonna put that out there. All my cigar smokers, all my sippers, we're gonna figure out a way to get everybody together and be safe and have this conversation because I know for a fact that conversation could last a couple hours, so we can get about 3-4 shows out of that. So,
Oh yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
now on to the next topic. This one right here. I think this is what James is alluding to with Impact Wrestling earlier. The plane ride from hell. Dark Side of the Ring react. Woo. For those not familiar, James, please let them know about the plane ride from hell.
Okay, so it was actually a rumor at once, but then it turned into as an actual thing. And stories from the people that were actually on the plane, from people who were told about the stories. I mean, how do they say? Telephone, telegraph, tell a wrestler. That type thing. So how a story goes from one person, it changes once it gets to the next person, it changes once it gets to the next person, and so on. Right?
Well, I heard it different though. I heard if you want to what's the the 3 ways of communication: telephone, telegraph, and tell a woman. But go ahead.
I think that's where they got my version from, but go ahead. Yeah, okay, that's what's up. But okay, so around the time when Vince McMahon bought out ECW and WCW, they went on a European tour. It's like a 4-day European tour. And they were on their way back, and they had chartered this huge plane, private. And it had one flight. It had it had about 2 or 3 flight attendants, the pilots, and it was a bunch of wrestlers on there that included Ric Flair, Kurt Hennig, Brock Lesnar, Scott Hall, Justin Credible, who was I think he was still Justin Credible when he got to WWE. And a bunch of other wrestlers. I think Terry Runnels said she was on the plane, but all kinds of shit happened on this damn plane. Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle got into a play fight, from Kurt Hennig trying to, do a rib on Brock Lesnar. Apparently, Scott Hall had been H-bombed or had been somebody had put Halcyon in his drink and knocked him out. Yeah, RVD was on there. Dustin Rhodes was on there as Goldust. And he'd been knocked out. They thought he was dead at one time. By the time they landed the plane, he was drugged up so bad. Michael Hayes got his ponytail cut off after he got knocked out. So, all kinds of stuff happened. Ric Flair did his usual walking around the plane with only his robe on and nothing else, doing his little helicopter thing with his thing. But on the dark side of the ring, they went into this and they went into detail about all the stories. They had Jim Ross and a whole bunch of folks who was on the plane, along with the flight attendant who ended up being in a lawsuit against the WWE for what happened to her on that plane. Now, what I was alluding to earlier is Tommy Dreamer was on this documentary, and he expressed some of his own views and opinions about what happened, especially when it came to Ric Flair and the accusation that he backed up this flight attendant that was on the documentary into the galley and made her grab his junk and was talking to her all kinds of ways like he was going to do something to her, but nothing really happened. She even said, I don't think he was trying to rape me, but I was violated. So he was saying all kinds of things backing up Ric Flair. I've known Ric Flair and I've traveled with him. He would never, force himself upon people and all this and that. Impact Wrestling suspended him for his views on that documentary. Now,
suspended indefinitely.
Indefinitely. Right. Now, in watching it, and I watched it twice. I watched it when it came on, and I watched it earlier today just because I knew we were going to be talking about it. I wanted to make sure I heard Tommy Dreamer and what he said and how he said it. Now, my beef is, yes, he expressed his opinion about Ric Flair and everything that happened. But you also had Rob Van Dam, who was putting out some similar vibes, not necessarily backing up anybody or making excuses for anybody, but he was just like, this is just the thing that the boys do. This back then, these were things that the boys did. The boys will be the boys, as they say. Now, there could be no repercussions to RVD because he's not affiliated with anybody. But they pretty much Me Too Tommy Dreamer.
Pretty much.
Now, here's my thing, and here's my question. Would they have done that? Would they have suspended Tommy Dreamer had they not had this relationship with AEW?
No.
What up, fellas?
What's up, man? You ain't just in time.
No Uso penitentiary.
So we're talking, as you can see, we're talking about the plane ride from hell. Okay. I just went over what was happening and what it was about for anybody who wasn't familiar.
So now it's become their Me Too plane ride.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I said. It's Tommy Dreamer just got Me Too. But my question was, as you were coming on, would Impact have suspended Tommy Dreamer if they hadn't had this relationship with AEW?
Ben and Perry say yes. I say no.
I too say no.
What you talking about, like in this moment, or you talking about 5 years ago?
No, I'm talking about right now. I'm talking about the suspension of Tommy Dreamer. Being that AEW, when Me Too and Speaking Out came out, AEW did that thing with Sammy Guevara and a whole bunch of other guys who they wound up either letting go or suspending or putting in, Okay, so yeah, they did fire Joey Ryan during speaking out. They did.
Well, we're in the era of the CYA and we like we talked about the cancel culture and Me Too and all that stuff. And once you start crossing certain conversational lines, they're just going to err on the side of caution and protect the business because nobody wants to deal with it. Period. So they would get rid of him just because you want to distance yourself as far away from what he said as possible. And then I'm surprised they're not distancing, RVD and some of the other ones that, or even Jim Ross, were just being part of that episode. I'm surprised. Speaking of AEW and all that, how many people were in it that like I wouldn't even want to have that brought up. The moment they would have said, "Yeah, we want to do a video," nope. You ain't see Scott Hall in it.
Yeah, because he was in they showed him in a bad light.
Yeah,
you didn't see Ric Flair in it either.
Jim Ross was in a bad light. Everybody,
of course, but Jim Ross was like, if I don't ever have to fucking talk about this again, I won't be mad.
5 years ago, it was a running joke that you know how Flair is, man. We could tell you some stories, and that's one of the things they talking about, and everybody chuckles. They're like, "Yeah, that's just Nate."
But that's not the first time he's done that, though. He was known for doing that prior to the plane ride from hell.
At the same time, those conversations, even as Hall of Fame inductions and all that he was revered, to an extent that Nate was just a man and he was doing his thing, and that's just what Flair does. That's what the boys do. How they rib each other when they were talking about Mr. Perfect, and shoot, we even got to the point about people pooping in gear bags and stuff like that to rib people, or locking their bags up with before they have to go out with bolt lock and key and all that stuff. The ribbing was ridiculous back in the day before I guess the back changed a little bit. So let me ask this question: what for you guys? And this is, I guess we'll skirt the line of anything. What
what up, Barry?
What did Tommy Dreamer say that offended you, or you think that would have been offensive?
Well, he didn't offend me. I mean, all he was doing was telling the story.
That you thought would be offensive, because I watched it, so I have a fresh perspective on it. And for me, he didn't cross any Me Too lines.
I didn't think so.
To me,
I didn't think so.
Him saying Nate does what Nate does is the same thing that people have been saying for years.
And that's the problem.
Wasn't RVD the one that said no? It was Tommy Dreamer. I think the only thing was like, hey, Nate was maybe a little more well endowed, swinging around like a helicopter, but that's what everybody has said in those stories.
But that's the problem, okay? Already on the heels of speaking out, okay? When you're already on the heels of speaking out, okay? This is still a sensitive, this is going to be a sensitive subject, okay? And the story of
the whole world is sensitive.
Exactly.
And they should have never been a part of the show. Period. Anybody on that plane is bound under everything from Vince McMahon, Linda McMahon, Stephanie was on the plane. Everybody is all culpable.
And actually, it's funny because I just saw, an article today where there are a couple of people already saying they're denying that Vince and Linda were even on the plane. Okay, but look, even besides that,
he was on that plane.
Yeah, I believe he's on the plane too.
But that plane ain't that big.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That curtain was thin. They know what sounds. You can't. Come on now.
Yeah, but even besides that, okay. Like I said, the story of the plane ride from hell is not a new story. Okay, the new twist in these, in what the dark side of the ring brought out was bringing out the other side, was showing, showing the the flight attendant talking about it. Okay.
Right.
That's where the bad. That's what
made the whole thing damning.
The bad look comes
right.
in.
Yeah, but where's the NDA at? Where's the NDA? Because we only saw the one flight attendant out of all the ones that was on the plane. Where's the NDA?
She's the one that had the most happen to her.
The only
Exactly.
That is
she's the one that had the most happen to her. The one that actually did the suing, the one that actually brought up the case. She had some things happen to her, but according to the flight attendant, it wasn't as much as that happened to her.
Even still, we know how WWE is, and we know how big business is. When you cut a sizable check, you sign a piece of paper that says you don't talk about said situation for X amount of time and or ever.
Yeah.
So is this one of them oversights that somebody screwed up, or does she just violate that NDA?
But it doesn't. I'll say this: NDA or no NDA, it still doesn't defend what happened.
I'm not defending it, but I'm just curious. How are we having this conversation if legally she can't? If that's there.
For her, I'll say this: for her to be talking about it 20 years later, somewhere there.
Yeah.
Somewhere there. Okay.
I mean, that was what Tommy Dreamer was saying. She was like, if it was so bad, why did she take the payoff? Why didn't she just take the court, take it all the way through the court and get the fullest extent of the law taken care of?
And look how insensitive.
Why did she take the payoff?
But look at how. But at the same time, 20 years later, look how insensitive that sounds.
Basically, what she's saying is she got the Cosby. That's really what it comes down to. Because I mean, this is almost parallel, except Bill is richer. I'm not saying innocent or guilty, but for the Cosby thing. But I'm just pointing out there that Hollywood at that time, a Quaalude, Studio 66, that's just what they did. The casting couch started with whomever at whatever age. That's just what was happening. Now, there's a difference between I'm going to slip you a roofie, you don't know what's going on, and there you go, and hey, everybody's taking Quaaludes. You want one? Okay. That's kind of,
But see, they brought that up too, but it wasn't Quaaludes in this instance. It was house.
They talked about that for the Scott Hall. But like I said, my thing is, nobody in that video, I guess the only one that kind of would have a little bit of plausible deniability would be RVD.
Yep.
But everybody else should not have been in, because this is damning for Jim Ross. He said it. I'm in charge of that. Yeah. So you have to take ownership for Nate. You have to take ownership for X-Pac. You have to take ownership for Brock.
He does.
Killed everybody. That's all under you. So the first person that should be outed or oust is Jim Ross.
And actually think about it. At that time, the only two that suffered, the only two from the company that suffered any repercussions from that was Scott Hall and Kurt Hennig. Those were the two that lost their jobs.
Yeah. Okay. More so Kurt got the
I forgot. But those
needed it.
Those are the ones that lost their jobs. Okay.
Yeah.
At that time, okay. Rick didn't. Rick definitely didn't get any repercussions. He was already a made man.
Brock Lesnar, he had too much dirt on everybody else. If Rick testified, he would take down everybody.
Yeah.
If Me Too was back then, Flair would open his mouth and WWE would be shut down. WCW would be shut down. NWA would be shut down.
And Brock was on his way to becoming a made man. So nothing was going to happen to him.
Guess who wasn't on that flight? John Cena.
This was pre John Cena, wasn't it?
No, John Cena's ass was in Ohio Valley at that time.
Yeah, he was in Ohio Valley.
I just wanted to throw out a Cena joke.
He was still a prototype when all this was happening. Yeah.
I just wanted to throw out a Cena joke for KG. He's looking kind of quiet over there. I just wanted to get some Cena-ism.
No, I'm quiet. Number one, I'm quiet.
I mean,
it's best that I stay quiet, because here's my thing. all of this came out. And I agree with what Ben said. Dark Side of the Ring does a great job on everything that they do. Those guys go in depth and they don't leave no stone unturned. And what you see on TV is not compared to what they put on YouTube that's behind the scenes they couldn't put on. Mm-hmm. They do a great job. But now, the plane ride from hell, trust and believe, in the next week or two, if possible, somebody's going down for that. Because if they can get Cosby 40 years after, you can get, well, I mean, R. Kelly was no secret. We knew what R. Kelly was doing when it was going on, but nobody said anything. Everybody just let it go.
That was, his whole catalog tells about what he's doing.
Pretty much.
They won.
The only one that would actually, that was on the show that would actually get any repercussions at this point, because they've already got Tommy, is Jim Ross.
But no,
I don't think they're going to do anything to Jim Ross.
No. I'm not talking about being suspended.
Jim Ross off TV.
No. Jim Ross is about to go off TV anyway.
I don't think they'll touch him.
Same here.
If this picks up steam, Tony Khan want that negative.
Yeah,
I'm telling you right
Jim
now,
Ross
not going to Arthur Stadium.
He's about to be on TV anyway.
Jim Ross now is what Flair was then. He's a made man.
We'll shut down made men.
No, but the repercussions aren't going to look. I'm sorry. At this point right now, repercussions are not going to hit. Hit Jim Ross like that. Especially with as upfront and apologetic as he was.
Right.
Okay. What it's going to affect is not seeing Flair by Andrade's side in AEW.
But if women Twitter and women Facebook push the envelope, Jim Ross will get hit.
Plus, I mean, Tommy Dreamer was a preemptive strike anyway. Because I mean, nothing is coming out negatively from anybody.
Well, sorry, I disagree about Tommy and being low hanging fruit. No, okay.
No,
Tommy was the one who was up there sounding insensitive. Okay,
you can touch Tommy Dreamer.
He was sounding insensitive to the whole thing.
Harvey Weinstein apologized too, and he in jail. He was crying, bawling. I'm so sorry, and he went straight to jail. Now he's on death's door. If they want to get Jim Ross and women go behind it, the optics, you shut that down from a corporate standpoint.
Yeah, I'm just saying, watch it not happen.
I'm saying
when Jim's watch it not happen.
Well, whether or not it happens, I'm saying the possibility to counteract what James was saying is there. If that button is pushed and it's going to affect the pockets of AEW, they'll pull Jim Ross.
Yeah, but
it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
But if Ric Flair,
the possibility is there. I give you the possibility being there, but it's not going to happen. Remember. Think about this now. Think about this. The suspension of Tommy Dreamer, like I said earlier, was a preemptive strike. The show just came out Thursday. You've heard nothing negative from anybody about that show.
In order for it to be a preemptive strike, James, the preemptive is the precursor to the major strike. So who's the major strike going against?
The major strike is going to
do nothing. Who's getting next?
They just did that to keep so they can say, okay, we saw the show. We took care of Tommy. You're not gonna be able to say that we're insensitive to what we saw on the show.
He was low hanging fruit, collateral damage.
No, he was just no. You can't call it. I don't think he was low hanging fruit.
Hold on.
I wouldn't call him low hanging fruit.
Hold on.
Where'd Perry go? We lost Perry.
I get him back. But this is what I'm saying. I'm not talking about being disciplined by a federation or organization. I'm talking about legally.
Well, that's a whole different category.
That's what I'm talking about.
Legally.
I'm talking about somebody's going to get caught up because, like I just said,
that goes back to the NBA.
But who would catch him up? I mean, they've already had a trial, and and 2 flight attendants got paid off. The company, the airline company, was trying to keep it under wraps.
Mhm.
They told the girl, they told her, said, look, we understand what happened. You know, we apologize to you for what happened. We feel sorry for you, but we deal with professional sports teams. We deal with professional athletes. They do things on these planes all the time. We have to keep some type of confidentiality for them in order to keep their business. So we don't want y'all saying nothing. So for them to go to court about this, they probably ended up getting fired for that.
Yeah,
at some point.
probably in their contract when they signed it in the fine print. But
that's fine. But statute of limitations for something like this, statute of limitations for sexual assault is very, very long. And we're only talking 20 years. They got Cosby for something back in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
And they got him for something. It doesn't matter what the woman looked like. And I'm like, okay, this is Bill Cosby. Come on now. But and everything that she came out and said, it was a head scratcher. But he still wound up serving time.
But look at that case compared to this one. In Bill Cosby's case, somebody came out and said something.
And somebody's going to come out and say something now.
Who else is there to come out and say anything?
Whoever was on the planes, one of those violated females.
There were three flight attendants on that plane.
Paid or not, somebody's going to say something. Then that one that didn't get paid off.
The third one stayed in the galley and never came out into the cabin. So she didn't have any repercussions on her for that. The pilot came out only during the Brock Lesnar and Kurt Hennig little fight that they had, the play fight they had. So who else is going to come out on that?
Somebody's going to come out. This is the way it always happens. You think something swept under the rug is buried, and it's in that little box with Marcus's mom's titties and everything else they put in the box on Bad Boys, and wrapped it up in chain.
Mom's.
Yeah, it was Marcus. Yeah,
Marcus's mom's. What the hell did I just walk into?
You talking about Bagwell?
All that shit in a box.
Wow.
You think it's
Bagwell's mom?
No, and Bad Boys 2. No, that was Bad Boys 2. He was
Marcus. Okay.
He was like, "Don't bring up my mom's titties again." That's where it's at. But guess what? It all comes back in the end. This is a generation of, hey, is that you?
So
is this you? They would dig up. The dude from Jeopardy got fired for a daggone comment he made on a podcast 8 years ago. 8 years ago for a podcast.
Hart lost the Oscar thing. Well, he bowed out on it. So that means that the stuff that y'all said, like how many episodes? 500 episodes, maybe what? 100 episodes ago, is going to come back to bite us. Good job, guys.
It's not going to come back to bite us. I'm not worried about it because I make no apologies for anything that I say.
Good job. All of Me Too and y'all did. Good job.
No, that was you always calling out Me Too. But what I'm saying is, it always comes back and it always bites you in your ass. Let me
see if I can get Me Too for my shirt.
No, nobody cares.
Tokyo Pimps. Okay.
I said we need to find out, and somebody needs to.
Yujiro Takahashi won his first G1 match today, so yeah, that's why I'm wearing it.
Nice.
Bullet Club.
If she violated the NBA, then that's going to be an interesting thing because once she spent or her husband spent that first penny, you can't come back.
That money been spent.
That money is gone.
That money been gone.
And it'd be like, oh, but hold on. I want to tell my story now. You shouldn't have took the money.
It happens all the time. You sign NDAs and then they write tell-all books. Come on now.
I got a feeling, as thorough as those guys are with Dark Side of the Ring, I think they made sure that the NDA wasn't gonna bite them in the ass.
Here's the thing, James. Those guys may be thorough, but you're talking 3 shades of billion-dollar lawyer teams now. WWE's, Fox, USA. Between the 3 of them, somebody gonna find an issue and lock that down.
Guess what? That's not gonna stop a tell-all book.
This will mess up the USA.
And plus, they've been telling this story since it happened.
And it's definitely gonna mess up that old money
kayfabe commentaries. All the YouTube videos or shoot videos that they've been talking about, all the wrestlers have been talking about this. Even the ones that wasn't even on the plane have talked about this and like shoot videos all over YouTube.
I agree. It just now became the plane ride from hell. Before it was just one of those things that happened.
No, it was always the plane ride from hell.
It was always the plane ride from hell. That was what they called it after it happened.
But it was always steeped in folklore. It wasn't nothing.
Right. It was always a rumor.
It was steeped in folklore.
It was a tall tale until it just became real.
Well, guess what? You know what just happened? Everybody's liable. NDA or not, tell-all books, lawsuits, everything can come out now because none. What's the statute of limitations on the NDA?
Well, it depends on the NDA.
It depends on the contract. If this contract says to perpetuity, then yeah, you can never talk about it.
Then if it doesn't, here we go.
And let's not act like legal didn't already know about this before it aired. Okay?
That is true.
Right.
Let's act like legal didn't already know about this before it aired.
That show came out Thursday. Today's Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
They knew about the show because they announced that they were going to do a show on the plane ride from hell when the season started back in March.
And this was
so they knew about this show that was going to happen.
Legal knew about this last year.
They're going to air it because controversy creates cash. But
no, because if somebody sent them a letter saying don't air it, they wasn't going to air it.
But then
if they had a ground to stand on for them to not air it.
Don't air it. What you mean don't air it? Then they'll put a little disclaimer up there. We got a call from such and such's lawyer team saying don't air this. And then the show starts. But so then you look like, okay, now we're saying don't air it because of admission of guilt. And you got a whole other bag of worms you got to deal with.
But didn't they have an episode like that before where they couldn't air? It was an episode, I think it was either season 1 or season 2. They couldn't air the episode because of legal.
They've had plenty
of individuals. They weren't on a company level.
But they've had plenty of they have had plenty of episodes that did not paint the head of the WWE in a good light. Okay, from the Snooker episode. Okay, from the Snooker episode to the Montreal screw job. Okay, there even the Dino Bravo one. There have been plenty of episodes where Vince McMahon does not come off on in a good light. All right,
and the drug trial is coming.
And and the drug trial is coming. Okay, they already legal within that company already knows about what's going to be aired. Okay, or have an idea of what's going to be aired. All right,
but we're on a different track. That stuff is all well and good. That's his business. If you don't like his business practices, that's on one side of the coin. That's something you can argue back and forth. Once you start going into the sexual assault stuff, we on that Law and Order page now.
What about the possibility of allegedly paying off somebody in a sheriff's office to make sure one of your biggest wrestlers doesn't get charged for murder? Okay, I mean, either way, we already know about this. Okay, we already know about this.
Well, and you know what, y'all bring up a term. Made man. No, made man.
Yeah.
And the only way you can take down a made man, you got to have a okay from the Don to take out a made man. Because you see what happened to Tommy when he killed Billy Bats, right? They put 9 in his head so his mama couldn't have an open casket. You don't take. I get it that Flair's a made man. Flair's not even a made man. Flair's a Don. If you want to put it in those terms, Flair's a Don in this business. Flair can do whatever he wants. He can go to any promotion and sell out. He's a Don.
Can I toss this your way though?
Go ahead.
Granted, the story is that Flair asked for his release and got it. But isn't it kind of a coincidence that he asked for his release and got it?
And then his episode aired.
Yeah, asked for his release. What, 5-6 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
and this episode, and this episode comes out.
Sometimes you got to play chess instead of checkers.
No,
But
that goes back to that Larry Zbyszko right there.
No, but then when you playing chess, you got to play that chess that we talk about all the time. That like Bill Walsh and the greats always play this chess where it's on 4 different tiers, all diagonal, and you're playing 4 different games of chess where everybody else is trying to keep up with one. That's what that is.
Play that Star Wars mess. That's what you need to play at this point.
That's what it is.
Nobody
That's exactly what it is.
That game is. Many times I watch that damn movie, I'm like, I don't know, Chewie. I don't know what the hell your next move is. It's still a hot mess. Just do something, make them little things walk around or something.
Well, all right. Final thoughts on the plane ride from hell reaction. Because we got to move on. We got 2 more segments to do because we got to get out of here. Can't run long tonight.
Did they get free baggage checks? It's like Southwest where you get 2. Is that no? Just curious.
It was a private plane. It was a private plane. No. Look, they gave away the status of that plane when they said that they were sitting on the tarmac for 7 hours, and they replenished the liquor 3 times.
Yep. 3 times, yeah.
And not the airplane bottles. No. The fifths.
Think about how much they have.
They're replenishing fifths and getting rid of them bottles.
And
you had what? 12, maybe 12, maybe 15 people on that plane?
Yep. And in a normal ride for that company, they don't go through a cart. They don't go through a whole cart. And they went through 3 whole carts. The
flight attendant even said, I've never been on a flight where a plane went through 1 cart.
Mm-hmm.
And that's with the airplane bottles. They went through 3 with fifths of liquor.
No, 4 because they had the one that was already on there.
No, as you said, they went back twice.
They had 1 and then they went back.
They had 1 and they went back twice, so it was 3 times.
You sure?
3 full carts of liquor.
It was
3.
But I mean, you do have a horseman on board. But KG, you could go ahead and give us your last thoughts. But before that, just to throw out there, speaking of Dons, where was the other Don at that nobody is not me, but that nobody's talking about? Where was your boy Taker?
Taker wasn't on that tour.
Mm-mm.
That was Insurrection 2002.
That was the
sure?
That was the last event that WWE
played. He was on the European tour, but he wasn't on that flight going back.
Okay. But I know he was part of the tour.
I think he was on like the 2nd or 3rd day of that tour, and he wound up going back on his own.
Okay.
He wasn't on that flight.
I know he was out there because I remember in the magazine seeing the pictures of him out there on it because I think I got it downstairs in the basement. Like, was he not on the flight?
No, he wasn't on that. He wasn't on that flight because that was the final flight after the tour was over. They were headed back home.
You may have dipped and got the Learjet. But KG,
for years he's been happy that he was never on that flight.
Right.
Yeah.
But if he was on that flight, I guarantee you a lot of that stuff wouldn't have happened. Because he's not that tight.
Yeah, none of that stuff would have happened. They wouldn't have trashed that plane like they did.
No, he's not that tight. And he has his crew with him, the Godfather, Yokozuna. Who else is? I can't think of I think it was Savio Vega. I can't think of everybody that's with it. I think it's called
BSK. They say the Bone Street crew, but it's actually the back seat crew because they started out and all of them was sitting in the back of a bus whenever they were on tour.
Yeah, D-Lo, Godfather,
Savio Vega,
Yoko, Taker.
I think the Godwins were in there.
Nash, Hall.
And the thing is, when they got together, you never had, and they weren't hard partying like that. They was just sit back and chill. The Godfather sit back and light up he light up a L, and he good. But everybody was cool. That wouldn't have happened if the Undertaker was on there. But my final thoughts on this, because we got to move on. My final thoughts: watch the news, because this is going to be not just sports entertainment news. This is going to be news because a lot of people are coming out not knowing about this. I never knew this happened and this and that. And we're in a what moms maybe call it. We're in the atomic age. Everybody else is in what has happened. We are in what's happening. You dig what I'm saying? Twitter, Facebook, social media, period. is going to dig and dissect into this. Wrestling Twitter is going to dig and dissect into this. It's going to be an outcry. I swear, something's going to happen, and it's not going to be what you think it is.
Oh, imagine if social media was around when that happened.
Ooh, man.
Oh my God! Somebody on that plane would have been putting shit out.
Well,
Exactly.
There've been issues before the plane. They wouldn't even be talking about the plane. We'd be talking about the years leading up to the plane if social media existed.
Yeah, because
just like
the
flight with who was it? Arn Anderson and
Arn and Sid.
Arn and Sid Vicious, when they got in that fight and they were stabbing each other with scissors.
Yep.
I thought that was in the hotel.
That was in a
I
hotel.
thought they stabbed
no,
in the hotel.
Yeah, no, that was in a hotel. That was in a hotel.
I thought that was on a plane too.
No, that was in a hotel overseas.
They just ain't had enough to do.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if the social media did exist, they probably would have been on TikTok. So, they'd have been a little bit more entertained.
Well,
so for everybody on that plane, who would have had the camera?
That's a good question.
You mean who would be yelling World Star?
Yeah, who would be yelling World Star on that flight? On the plane ride from hell, who would be the one talking about
X-Pac all day?
World Star.
Yep. Yep. That would have been Waltman. That would have been Waltman.
Yeah, that feels like something Waltman would do. That feels like something Waltman would do.
That fool.
All
right, KG, take to the next ticker.
Next one, NXT 2.0 reaction. That's I know Ben was happy about NXT 2.0 because Ciampa's the new champ. I like the way that sounds. What has it been? 600 days since he's been champ? Or was it 900?
Like that, yeah.
It was a long time since Goldie been home.
Y'all just skip by.
It's been right around 3 years.
The graphics and the new arena setup and all that stuff. The first thing you go to is the ending of the show.
I can do without it. I'm reading your notes.
I didn't start with I said Ciampa's the new champ, but actually I talked about Braun Breaker first.
Okay, Braun Breaker and the wedding. Reaction to NXT 2.0. You guys take it away.
James, Perry.
Well, go ahead, Perry. You're the guest.
Thank you.
Wait. Hold on. Wait. Don't ever call Perry a guest. Perry, you are at home here. Take your shoes off.
You know what? This is his third time. They say once you come your third time, you're not a guest anymore. So yeah, welcome home. You got some dishes to wash, motherfucker.
Take your shoes off and get comfortable.
You got to take the trash out. You got to wash the dishes, and we'll figure out something else for you to do before you leave.
Yeah, look, perfectly fine as long as there ain't no dogs I gotta, take care of. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. This show took me back to Florida Championship Wrestling. It did. Okay.
Actually, it took me back to WCW Thunder, but go ahead.
No. It took me back to Florida Championship Wrestling, and I'm talking about the precursor to NXT. That's what it looked like.
Which is why, not to cut you off, but which is why I don't understand why they call it 2.0. This should be 3.0.
It shouldn't even be 3.0. It should just, to me, it was a throwback. Okay. It was a throwback. And I'm not talking about I'm really not talking about the looks, the graphics, the in-ring and the direction. Okay.
Right.
I mean, the black and gold brand that Triple H has put together over the past 6 and 7 years was a super indie. Okay, it was a throwback to the territorial days. Okay, it was a lot of experience and a lot of top guys from the indies. Okay. Outside of the experienced guys that you knew that was going to be on the show, the main focus was on the new guys. And
Yes, it was.
that's why it gave me that old that old Florida Championship Wrestling feel. Okay, I mean, I'm sorry, Braun Breaker, all right, and I don't even want to get into the travesty on why Brock isn't, Brock is not being referred to as Rex Steiner. Rex Steiner is perfect. Okay, but according to some of the reports that are coming out, that they don't want to play up to his Steiner heritage. Okay, which
But they
is
put him in a singlet like his daddy and his uncle.
exactly, which is some total WWE shit. Okay, for
Right.
them not to play, for them to have this new guy and not play up to it. Okay, it's going to take a minute, all right. But what I know, what I know from what I've seen from the first, from the first episode, all right, the the black and gold that I fell in love with, oh, that's gone. That's gone.
Way gone.
And it's gone. It's not coming. It's gone. It's not. It's not coming back. WWE and NXT is shifting towards, or shifting back towards that mid to late 2000 model, with them building their stars from strictly their developmental, and that show is going to be what it was supposed, what it was always set to be in the first place, before Triple H had had a grander vision, which is to be a true developmental. All right. I just don't know how long I'm willing to stick around to see a developmental. Not on USA, for real.
As long as they're able to keep it interesting, because like I said on the last show, I said I was going to give it 2 shows before I give it an opinion. I actually liked what I saw on the first show. Now, like you said, graphics and whatnot aside, I'm not into the colors, all the color scheme and all that, the logo, I guess they're doing that to kind of, like you said, kick the black and gold to the curb, which they definitely did. But the fact that they brought out Brock Breaker,
Braun Breaker,
they brought him out. The other guy, what's his name? The one that looks like Kali's son.
Oh, you mean Von Wagner?
Von Wagner, yeah.
That's Matt Bloom's son.
Right. Okay, that's Matt Bloom's son. Okay, him. They actually brought out old girl from Hit Row, had her wrestling finally, and put old girl with Legado de Fantasma.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
They put them 2 together. Yeah, I mean, I like the fact that they're bringing in the new folks.
Actually, the guy the tag team that had Josh Briggs from formerly of Evolve, and then
Right.
Brooks Jansen, and I gotta look it up real quick, because Brooks Jansen is a second generation wrestler.
Yeah, they pulled a lot
of the folks that they brought in lately are second generation.
Yeah, there's a lot in there that they got to put out.
Hey, did you see that? I don't know if you saw this kid, Malik Blade. I think he made his debut on 205 Live. Okay. Now that 205 Live is becoming like the other NXT show. His real name is John Dawkins. He's the son of NBA legend Daryl Dawkins.
Really?
And he was trained, and he was trained at the Team 3D school by Devon Dudley.
So he's Daryl Dawkins' son, and his in-ring name is not Chocolate Thunder from the planet Lovetron. I mean, what are you doing?
Nope.
Well,
Malik Blade.
The big reasoning that I've been seeing pop up a little bit more is that the WWE doesn't want to recognize, especially with as many people have went to AEW using the same name, which is theirs. They want to do homegrown talent with homegrown names, even though there's some garbage names, in my opinion.
Ooh.
But
Yeah, where they
want
get
to
some of
have
these names
everything
from, I
so they
don't
can
know.
Trick
export it.
Williams. Trick Williams. Can I say it again? Can I say it? Don, I apologize. Okay? I apologize. And in fact, KG, can you just big screen my face just real quick? Just real quick. Just big screen. Big
Hold
screen
on,
my
let
face.
me
Yeah, put him on solo.
Trick Williams.
Now watch, we're gonna be laughing now, but if you go back, what was it? Gosh, maybe 8 or 9 years, maybe plus. I remember still vividly in the backstage segments, you see, who the hell are you? My name is Dolph Ziggler. And they just push that over and over and over, like,
But
oh my
hold
God,
on,
I don't care about your name no more.
No. Dolph Ziggler, I could work with Dolph
Well,
Dolph
Ziggler
Ziggler was a great name. Dolph
because
Ziggler was
it's
a
a
great
play
name.
on Dirk Diggler. I mean, come
I
on.
know that,
That's a
but at
great
the same
name.
time, I'm like, come on, man, Kenny, don't shut the hell up.
That's a great name. That's a great name then. Okay, because you know where
But
it
they're gonna
came
do the
from.
same thing.
Trick Williams.
Trick
Yeah.
Williams.
Trick Williams.
It ain't tricking if you got it.
It's going to go back. Next thing you know, everybody going to have occupations again.
No, God, don't be,
It's coming.
man. Don't do that.
It's
Don't
coming.
do that. Don't do that. I don't look.
Occupation
Don't
is
do
coming
that.
back.
Don't do that. Look. I don't need to see. I don't need to see a wrestling, HVAC dude. Okay, come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, the meter maid. Watch. That's where we'll be coming to the ring. Take on the for the women's championship. It's going to be the meter maid.
Oh
It's
my
coming.
God.
That's all they know how to do.
Can't do it.
Okay.
So I guess the consensus, it sounds like, is jury's still out 100% on the show. They still have some stuff they need to prove and work out character-wise, but I guess we'll see what happens this week, especially since AEW is having their big day. So hopefully WWE is doing things big. But also, I wonder, since they're talking about putting all these rocket ships on people like Braun Breaker, is these new NXT talents are going to be subject to the draft or not?
Doubtful.
Yeah, I doubt that.
Development once again. Developmental.
Right.
Okay.
If Vince wants to do a little shaky, he may just say, "Fine, just bring this person up. We'll let him work it out."
Once again, if Vince has his hands on this now and he's treating it like a true developmental, okay, then he would treat it like he treated Ohio Valley Wrestling. Okay,
well, yeah, but
like he treated.
He did get ruthless aggression with John Cena out of nowhere, who was, not green, but he's still a little.
Exactly, he wasn't green. He wasn't green, and it wasn't out of nowhere. He had been in Ohio Valley for 2 to 3 years before he came up.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. I mean, the prototype is still my favorite version of Cena, and you can't tell me anything different.
You too? Oh my God! Wait, hold on. Which prototype? Okay, him is the prototype in Ohio Valley, or that really green prototype when he was in UPW in LA. Yeah.
I couldn't stomach that. I'm sorry. I'm glad he evolved.
When prototype was a cyborg, yeah.
Can't do that. Like, what the hell are you doing? It's like if it was Vin Diesel doing, at least you get the pop lock right. But no, that cyborg thing was like, what the hell are you doing?
But he came up with it on his own, though. I'll say this. That's when I first saw that, before anyone really knew who John Cena was. And when I saw that, inside the UPW wrestling school documentary, and I saw him, and he was like, "This is the gimmick I came up with." I'm sitting up here, I'm like, "This guy's got a future."
Yeah,
I seen it back then. That guy's got a future.
Was a World of Wrestling magazine is where I first got onto him, and they did a little article about some of the up and coming talent, and then I was like, "This guy, a prototype." But then they also featured, Batista in there and all that stuff. I'm like, damn.
Oh, you mean the demon?
Yeah.
The demon.
Leviathan.
Yeah. Leviathan.
Yeah, right. Leviathan. Go, Leviathan, go. Yeah.
So yeah, that's still one hell of a class coming out of OVW though. I swear.
One of the best.
Yeah, it
They'll
was.
never be-
It was.
Shelton Benjamin,
again.
Randy Orton,
Yeah, never
Charlie
be that
Haas.
good again.
Charlie Haas.
Mhm.
Yep. Brock Lesnar.
Shelton.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's true. No, that was Charlie and Russ Haas.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
God bless the dead. Yeah, I mean, that was a great class. But at the same time, you gave that class an opportunity to sit down there and cook.
That's
Yep.
true. And the Midnight Rider says new graphics suck, but Champ is great. Of course, he loves Ciampa being the champ. So
You trying to get the Midnight Rider down there in NXT 2.0 so he can, prove his chops.
I wonder what
Last
Ciampa.
Sunday he was over here talking mad stuff going in on the Sunday Rise. I don't know if you're going to feel, inflated again going into tomorrow, but I'll watch the whole show while I was at work.
I wonder how Ciampa's contract is looking. I mean, since the word is that Johnny Gargano's contract is up in December.
Yeah, that's going to be
There's
interesting.
a few contracts up, but because Kevin Owens is up in January.
Yeah, but a lot of the there's some the reason why a lot of some of these NXT contracts came are coming up is because some of them when they were restructuring deals last year during the pandemic that some of them passed on getting those deals restructured. Then you had cats like Adam Cole who once the deal was up decided to move on, and you just had Pete Dunne whose contract is up, who re-signed a new contract. Okay, so you're probably gonna be with the older talent, you're probably gonna be seeing that go go either way. Like I said, I'm curious on which ones are gonna decide to stay, and which ones are gonna decide to break. Oh, before we move off of this, can I bring up something? Remember, I think with two of y'all cats, man. I remember I had a conversation with y'all, and I said that if I was writing it, Carmelo Hayes would take that contract, and he would challenge MSK and pull up Odyssey Jones. Kind of felt that way this week, except it wasn't Odyssey, it was Trick Williams.
Right.
So either way, you're supposed to get paid for that, right?
Okay.
So if you haven't been paying attention to this show, we don't get paid for nothing.
Not a damn thing. They take our ideas and run with them.
24/7 championship check. Definitely waiting for at least a high five for the Thunderdome, but those things don't happen. And I know Becky breastfeeding while she at Raw. We ain't getting that check either. Shoot, we ain't even getting the milk for the cereal. But
wait, Lacey Evans could be doing the same thing. We ain't getting a check for that.
Well, shoot, yeah. Pretty soon, daggone the Garganos will be doing the same thing. We ain't getting that check. We putting stuff down, helping people out, man. And we can't get none of that. God,
teach you how to breastfeed on the wrestling show.
Look. Oh, please. Look, in January, Johnny Gargano is going to walk into Impact and challenge Josh Alexander for the Impact World title.
And I hope so, because not everybody needs to go to AEW. I know there's a lot of AEW purists, if that's a thing, because it's still young company. But they're like, everybody needs to go. No,
notice I didn't
go somewhere where he can flourish. And no disrespect to AEW, but he needs to be somewhere else.
Exactly. I mean, that I don't even want to get on my whole Bray Wyatt thing. I don't want to see him in AEW. I don't want to see him in AEW. I don't.
Yeah, we talked about that. Was that 2 weeks ago? Right?
Yeah.
Was that last week?
I think it was last week.
Last week, okay. I don't know. It all rubs together, James was on his stuff last week, so I guess that's probably why I forgot.
Well, we got to wrap this up.
We got another segment, don't we? Was that it?
Yes. Last but not least.
Wait.
Let me be the drum major here. I got this.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Drive.
I'm not used to it. It's not Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. I don't know.
I'm like the Conrad Thompson of the Sideline Junkies, but you put me in charge of this, and I got this one. I got it.
Go ahead.
AEW Grand Slam predictions. Now, looking at the notes, the People's Choice Don Rodriguez says, pulling up my notes here, Kenny Omega versus Bryan Danielson. I'm
My
saying
question
Danielson.
is, should Omega put over? I believe this is non-title. So should he put over DB?
Yes.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
If it's non-title, he should definitely get the win.
Most definitely.
Now, if it ends up becoming for the championship, what you're feeling in?
Omega.
Yeah, Omega.
I mean, the second, the rematch will be for the championship, and Omega needs to win it.
Okay.
Yeah,
if
you're going to give us the American Dragon versus the Cleaner this early, then Danielson needs to win it.
Mm-hmm. What about Soho versus Baker?
Baker.
No love for the Runaway.
I'm gonna say Soho.
James,
I go Baker.
Yeah,
Done.
Baker and Screwjob ending. Okay, still too early to take that belt off of.
Oh wait! You meant for the title? I thought you meant non-title. Oh,
no, this is for belts.
This is for belts. No. Give me Baker for belt. No, it's too soon. Too soon.
So Omega and Danielson could go either way still, but right now they've been talking non-title, at least their last face-to-face. So they could pull a swerve in this week on the go home, be like, hey, this is what it's going to be. We'll find it out. It could be something on Dark or Elevation.
I was like, they better not do that. You keep this non-title.
I hope so. Because that way everybody can improve the story.
And you gotta keep everybody strong, and you got a bigger story moving forward when Danielson gets the win.
Yep.
Okay.
And then the other elephant in the room, which is kind of interesting because he just mentioned in a couple interviews how he really wanted to face him. CM Punk versus Hobbs, Powerhouse Hobbs.
Punk.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that's a given.
Punk is not going to lose. Punk is not going to lose anything anytime soon.
But they're
going to figure out somebody that needs to rub real bad, and they're going to get there. That's when he'll do the job for somebody.
But on the other side of the coin, what if it is that interference win by Hobbs because of Ricky Starks? Because we haven't seen Punk and Ricky go face to face yet. So, if it's that type of ending, but it's because of Starks, which gives us Starks versus Punk, that wouldn't be a bad path to take as well. Because Punk doesn't lose anything by losing, as long as it's not clean.
Look, this is at Arthur Ashe. Everybody gonna go home happy.
Or could they? I doubt the Punk thing's gonna be the main event.
Yeah,
it'll probably be Danielson and Omega.
No, you forgot that the Hobbs Punk match is on Rampage.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
I'm sorry. When I think about it, I'm thinking that they're still filming the whole thing in the same night.
They are.
They are.
It's on Rampage.
When you say go home happy, I'm thinking about on the same night versus anything.
But it's still on the same night, so it's still.
Yeah. It'd have been nice if they would have booked for.
Well, I don't know. Wait a minute. I don't know because isn't Grand Slam a 4-hour show?
No, it makes it sound like it. They're saying 4 hours of entertainment. No, it's 2 hours of Dynamite, 2 hours of Rampage.
Exactly.
Taped in the same night.
Exactly.
I heard 4 hours somewhere. I was like, they're gonna actually make a 4-hour show.
That's what I thought too, but it's the way that they're wording it in their advertising. This week though, they finally explained it into 2 separate parts. Because I'm like, everywhere I was reading is like 4 hours. Like, man, that's gonna be serious. That's a long time if they're filming Rampage afterwards.
Like they're doing a Clash of the Champions or some shit. What the fuck?
Like what the heck? Yeah, is it WrestleMania? Like what are y'all doing? But no, it's 2 and 2. They're pulling the Chuck Lorre. Just 2 and 2. AG.
Yeah.
Speak on this. What say you?
Bring Jordan Grace over and let her demolish the whole women's division, and I'm good.
Really? And you wonder why we know that you're still stalking her. Just that's all you got? James, I thought you was taking his women.
He coming out of Tamina. Leave me alone. Me and James been getting along. Wait, no, time out. Me and James been getting along tonight.
Calmed down from his initial segment, and now he's just.
You know why he's calmed down? You know why? Because I left him alone. I left the gate open. I let him roam his yard, and I left him alone. Stop riling him up.
Hey man, I'm just coming on the back end. No homo.
Yeah, clean that up. Pause. Hey, Perry, pause.
I cleared it. I said it right where it was.
Pause.
I can't get me.
Uh-oh, he done froze.
I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Who froze?
Sometimes
he froze for a minute. You good? He froze. He was saying some dumb shit and he froze. That gerbil that's running his Wi-Fi knew he was about to say something stupid, so he kind of stopped for a minute.
Now you're offending a whole group of people. You need to stop talking like that, James. We just had an hour discussion on stuff coming back. Now the gerbil's gonna be mad because you saying they should be up somebody's behind.
Oh no, nobody's okay. You know what?
KJ, get the wheel.
Wrap that shit up, B.
I just got here. We ain't wrapping it up yet. We still got like 3 points to talk about.
We look here. This time it done ran. We done got it in. Perry done came home for a little bit. He had to wash clothes.
Can I sneak one thing in? Can I sneak one thing in? Okay. Shouts out to comedian Ron Funches.
Got his debut tonight.
Yeah, I still have to watch that match. I saw the Canadian Destroyer, but I have to watch that match.
Yeah, last night he made his in-ring debut at GCW Highest against Tony Deppen with comedian Paul Scheer as his backup, and then Danhausen showing up. Oh, and one of the funniest scenes, you got to see it. You got to go online and check it out. It's hilarious as hell, right? Danhausen. Danhausen is good for the whole tequila thing, right? So Tony Deppen outside the ring, he's flailing around, ass all out. Okay, I mean, you remember how Shawn Michaels, used to do the moments, where the trunks are all out. Okay. Yep. Yeah, he was all out for like about a good 5-10 minutes, right?
Jesus.
Okay. He's outside the ring, all right. And Ron Funches and Danhausen are on the ring apron, and the music hits. Dun, 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 dun. And they start, and
he used the Pee Wee dances as a part of his gimmick.
Exactly. And Danhausen kicks Tony Deppen. Ron Funches kicks Tony Deppen, and they're hitting all the points with the Pee Wee dance, right? And then when they get to the tequila part, they double super kick him in the face.
Oh God!
All right, they did it beautifully. Of course, the wrestler won the match the way it's supposed to be when there's a non-wrestling person as your opponent. Okay.
Yeah,
Tony
Jay
Deppen, Leno, Lawrence Taylor. Shaq don't count. Shaq don't count because Shaq didn't get the pinfall. But anyway.
What about Karl Malone? Karl Malone, y'all can hate on Karl Malone. He did Diamond Cutter at least.
Yeah, that's different because who's on the other side of the ring? Dennis Rodman. Okay. Either way. All right.
So what about David Arquette? He became champion.
And that was the death of
Let's
WCW.
not talk about David Arquette.
Hey. No.
I had to skip the last episode of My World with Jeff Jarrett because the whole show was about David Arquette.
Hey, look, David Arquette redeemed himself. Remember, he redeemed himself because he stepped in the ring and almost lost his life against Nick motherfucking Gage. Okay.
I will rule you.
So this last show was the show that had Suzuki and Jonathan Gresham, right?
And I actually missed that match. Yeah, but the main event was Minoru Suzuki against Jonathan Gresham. Two people. Those are two people making their GCW debuts.
Did Gresham get injured beyond recognition? Because that way KG could swoop in and console Jordan while he's delivering her packages.
Jordan Grace has nothing to do with either one of those. With Jonathan.
I say, yeah. What are you talking about?
I'm thinking more of Minoru Suzuki than Jonathan Gresham. Yeah. So,
why? That's all I wanted. Why?
Why?
I was trying to get it off of you, man, but I fucked it up. I'm sorry.
No, it's not even the point. Where did that even come from?
You know what? You the pause on that one, James. I'm sorry.
I'm glad everybody was able to join us tonight. The People's Choice Don Rodriguez, comes in and says,
I was trying to get it all up.
No. The views of the People's Choice Don Rodriguez they are not the views indicative of the Sideline Junkies or the Saturday Night Wrestlemaniacs.
I didn't say it.
That's on him.
That's what
those are his own personal views. I don't have a reason to stop.
So whatever.
My wife is still watching. I don't have a reason to stop because you know why?
The one that let you go down there.
Do you know why I don't have to stalk a woman? Do you know why?
Because she brings them home.
Because I got the goods, hun.
Oh God. Okay. And by good, she means he makes a mean peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Nah, I make a mean grilled cheese. Okay, let's go ahead and go home, y'all. Let's go home.
No, he got the right timing setting for his Hot Pockets.
Let's go home. I only eat Hot Pockets once a month, man.
Dang, I know your wife is mad about that.
Once a month.
Me too. Me too.
Talking about
too.
Actually, me too. Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you did me too yourself there.
That pepperoni, man. I'm telling you, you just gotta get all up in it.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm not even going there with the People's Choice Don Rodriguez. Perry came home.
Perry.
Yeah.
I know y'all got a few more weeks, but go ahead and let them know what's going on with y'all, man.
Oh man, yeah, straight to tapes. Sundays on Facebook Live and Twitch. Probably going to take things back to YouTube as well. But we're back on October 3rd. Also, if you got, you, of course, follow us on our, on all of our social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, IG, and Twitch. You can find us under Straight to Tape. Check out our YouTube channel, S2T Media. Actually, me and the homie Bishop Omega dropped a review of Drake's Certified Lover Boy under our new monikers, the Honey Mustard Boys. Okay, so we gave the Drake album a full light-skinned review.
I'm quite sure he would appreciate being talked about amongst his people.
Yeah.
So what's up to Omega? What's up to Tico? I saw that you put out a video about with your show that you did recently. Shout out to you, Rob the Actual. Glad to see that you made it down to Infield to hang out with the folks of GTG.
Yep, the ranch.
Here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, man, full screen him for this.
Let me get him on the full screen. Hold on.
Let me get right here. Hold on.
You get ready for the Hot Pocket? You may want to shave first because sometimes you leave food in your beard.
Hey Keisha. How you doing?
See, I'm gonna have to teach you how to do that right. Because if you do, oh Lord.
So needless to say,
No, wait.
No, I got to put this out there to make
No,
sure that
I need to say this to James.
Okay.
You get James from an OG to an OG. You got once you get yourself right, you know, you thaw your voice out a little bit. You got to look at it. You got to go, "Hey Keisha, how you doing?" See? Good to see you.
So Larry White is.
No, I hit it with the Barry White when I'm in person. So I saved that. I saved that.
I like to hit him with the Teddy P, but I mean, you know, that's different.
That's a whole nother situation altogether. Like, take it off. No,
I just hit him with the D. So,
turn it off.
She don't do it the first time. You got to yell at her. You ask nicely, turn off the lights. She ain't do it fast enough. Turn them off. So you got to yell at her. All right, man, we got to get out of here.
I know I asked for 45 more minutes, but I know it was going to be like this.
What you got? I look, I got the Vulcan death grip put on me, so I had to behave. Come on.
So, you know, for those in podcast land, KG is going to tell you about where you can hear us. For those on the wonderful world of visuals, aka the YouTube, make sure you ring the bell, like, subscribe, you know, hit a couple buttons. Definitely follow KG on the stalkerregistry.com. He's got a lot of commentary about his life chasing after Jordan Grace. Make sure you follow the Nubian Sumo on, you know, the registry. There's a lot of offenders that follow him. So make sure that
make sure you follow Don on the mail review websites.
That's right. Quarters, nickels, dimes, and if you do it and make it swing like Flair, then you will definitely be getting those dollar pieces.
He'll be going down to Atlanta to Swinging Richards.
Wait.
He'll be down there on Sunday.
Bring the robe.
Doing his
Bring
thing.
the robe.
Him being from Baltimore, so you dance to Frank Ski? There's some holes in this house. There's some holes in this house.
No, he already told you he down with the percolator.
Doo-Doo Brown all day. But,
not Doo-Doo Brown.
Yo, y'all killing me with the visuals, man. For real.
It would have been some go-go, but you know, Redskins couldn't win.
We won Thursday night. Get it right.
That's not what I talked about. I said last Sunday, if they won, I would spend the entire week listening to Sardines.
That's not. Can we go, look? Okay, you can hear us.
It's the same beat and everything else, so I figured Sardines the one I like.
You can hear us on Anchor, Podbean, Podchaser, all the majors, Apple, iTunes, Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Overcast, Pocket Cast, everything. Like Bobby say, man, everywhere, man. You can hear us everywhere.
Except for Podtail, because we still got a beef with them.
Well, you can still hear us there. So, but you know,
well, they never provided any tail.
Don't forget about Owl Tail either. But go ahead and keep talking about Tail. Go ahead.
That's the name of the show. That's the name of the
go ahead. You trying to get? We about to get locked up. This man's listening to daggone
BJ's not listening. The boss not listening.
I'm not worried about BJ.
No.
I'm worried about the long arm of the law coming out the back.
And on that note,
I just had to let that one lie. I'm sorry.
That was a pregnant pause you gave that one. I was with you on that one. Yeah. So on behalf of Don Rodriguez, the big guy KG, our floating fourth, Mr. C. Perry II, sipping on his probably Elijah Craig, getting ready to light up another Padron.
Woodinville and that Firethorn.
All right. This is the Nubian Sumo saying, and we're going to reverse it today. So diversify your bonds, peoples.
Konnichiwa.
Night.
That's it?